Hey everybody, Attorney Davis Younts here. Listen, I wanted to provide a quick update on what's happening with the back pay and reinstatement of all of the military heroes who were purged over the COVID mandate. So, first of all, it is extremely encouraging to hear the President of the United States talk about apologizing to, reinstating, and providing back pay to military members who were subjected to the unlawful and illegal COVID mandate and everything that happened after that. I think as we talk about this issue and we think about this issue, it's critical that we understand there are several categories of people that are impacted by this. The first, roughly 9,000 that have been identified, are individuals who were discharged over the COVID mandate, specifically because of the COVID mandate. And these are primarily individuals who were denied illegally and unlawfully denied a religious accommodation request, who were denied a medical exemption request, and who were forced out of the military on a punitive basis with disciplinary action. So that's one category. Again, that's about 9,000 individuals. There are probably another between 95,000 and 100,000 people at a minimum, service members who left the military because of the mandate. These are individuals who perhaps had their religious accommodation or medical exemption denied and then were forced to retire early, like I was. There are individuals who were kicked out by means of denial of reenlistment. So in other words, they weren't forced out through the discharge process, the administrative separation process, but they were denied the opportunity to reenlist. There's another huge swath of people who were somewhere in the process of seeking a medical exemption or a religious accommodation and decided not to reenlist or extend, or just got out as soon as they could. So you have these different categories of individuals. The other category of individual that's not being talked about yet that we need to keep in mind and understand how to help are those that stayed in the military, who were saved by the injunctions and the other things we were able to get in federal court, but have had their career negatively impacted. So I'm talking about clients that I have who were passed over for multiple promotions. Maybe they received letters of reprimand or other things as it relates to COVID mandates, and they are still suffering under that. And they're still in a position where their career has been essentially ended and destroyed. So what can we look for? What's my hope? Well, my hope is that there will be a policy implemented, and I think it can be done through an executive order to establish a special board or a commission to review all of these cases as rapidly as possible so that individuals can be restored. And I am hoping there is an expedited process to fix the records and save the careers of those who stayed in but were negatively impacted by these unlawful and illegal policies, as well as the discriminatory practices. So I think as we move forward, it's going to be critical to pay attention to what happens, what the news is. You could follow me on X at Davis Younts for updates. I'll try to provide updates and recommendations as we go forward. But right now, if you're asking what you can do, whether you're still in the military or whether you were kicked out, but if you were damaged, if you were harmed by the unlawful order to receive an experimental use vaccine, if you had a medical exemption, a proper medical exemption denied, if you had a religious accommodation request that was denied, if you're in any of those categories, if you were impacted by this, it's critically important that you make sure you have all of your records. Make sure you have all of your military records. Make sure you saved or you can access email traffic, any documentation of discriminatory practices that were taken against you, any threats, any coercive actions that were taken. All of that documentation is going to be critical as we move forward in this process. The other thing is, if you don't have it all, now's the time to submit another Freedom of Information Act request for anything that you're missing so that you can document what happened, document the negative impact, and we can move forward. So even if this commission or a special board is set up to address these issues and it doesn't cover you because you're still serving in the military, we still may want to go forward to the Board of Corrections for Military Records to try to address what happened in your case. And we're going to need your records to do that. So I am excited. I am extremely relieved, feeling optimistic and vindicated over the language President Trump is using and his promise to apologize to reinstate with back pay those who were impacted by the illegal discrimination and the COVID purge. However, there's going to be a lot of work to be done, and we don't know what the details are. So be prepared to keep the pressure up. Be prepared to lobby Congress for change, and keep an eye on the news so that we can all react quickly and that your records can be corrected and that you can get in the queue if you want to return to service. So thank you for all that you do, for everyone out there, brothers and sisters who fought the COVID mandate with me. Thank you. Thank you for your stand for the Constitution and all that you did. God bless you. Hang in there. Relief is coming, I pray. Take care.
Left to men like Davis Younts fighting for these movies here. Our Davis Younts, you are an attorney who has successfully defended naval officers.
Davis Younts has been instrumental in defending.
Davis Younts successfully defended an evangelical Navy lieutenant